Here they are to repair our understanding.
Troy, what's your favorite season of the year?
Oh, my favorite season of the year, I believe, is Thanksgiving because it's that big meal that we get to eat.
That's a holiday. So is season fall then?
Yes, I love the fall. I love the fall because I love the cool weather coming in, the leaves falling, and the colors of the leaves. It's just wonderful.
Football.
I'm not a football fan, but I like.
For me, it's football. We got football, the weather change, hunting season starting.
There you go.
Coming right around. Hey, I love fall and the activities. And,
Me too.
And you mentioned the holiday being Thanksgiving, and that's interesting because today's question actually kind of comes around one of those fall holidays that some people celebrate. And the question is it wrong for a Christian to celebrate Halloween, or should a Christian celebrate Halloween?
That's a very common question that comes up every year around that time of year. It's a good question.
And a lot of times we start off and say either yes or no to the answer. And on this one, it is kind of it depends.
It depends.
If you're celebrating Halloween as to worship Satan or to some false god or something like that, then the answer is no, you should not do that, and we should not be a part of it. But most people, Halloween is not even connected to a religious holiday. It's more of a tradition and custom of the time that has no connection, and the Bible doesn't even speak regarding that.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. The Bible doesn't even say anything about Halloween. Halloween is a man-made holiday that's been around for almost 2,000 years, that has some dark past and everything to it. So really, what matters is the principles that the Bible teaches. And so we can only give you a judgment call on this. We cannot bind something saying yes, you can, or no, you can't, because it's a judgment call.
Mm-hmm.
But think about the principles, like Philippians chapter 4, verse 8. Finally, brethren, whatever things are true, whatever things are noble, whatever things are just, whatever things are pure, whatever things are lovely, whatever things are good report, if there's any virtue, and if there's anything praiseworthy, meditate on these things. And so the question is, if whatever it is I'm doing, celebrating a holiday or something like that, is it praiseworthy? Is it of good report? Is it lovely? Is it pure? You think also about what the scriptures say, for example, in Ephesians chapter 5, verse 11, and have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather expose them. And so this is where some of the principles come in. Now, we could also go to the Old Testament, which talks about, in fact, in Leviticus chapter 20, verse 27, it says those who practice witchcraft and soothsaying and sorcery should be killed. Yeah, that's the Old Testament.
Mm-hmm.
And it also mentions in Deuteronomy 18 that when they come into the land, that they're not supposed to take on the abominations of the nations. So you see, there's a lot of principles there. Now, does that mean you absolutely cannot? It's a judgment call.
Yeah. If you do it for the wrong reasons, for unrighteous things, then no, don't do it. But if you are doing it for the sense of it's a time of year that we dress up in costumes and our children get candy and we bob for apples and we put up some decorations knowing that stuff is just fiction. No, there's no reality to any of it. Then if that's something you want to do, that's fine. But really the guiding principle we need to make sure we understand is whichever decision you make, it needs to be done in faith. Romans chapter 14, they were struggling with one of these judgment calls. And the conclusion of this really comes down into verse 22. Hast thou faith? Have it to thyself before God. Happy is he that eateth, condemneth not himself in that thing which he alloweth. And he that doubteth is damned if he eat, because he eateth not of faith. For whatsoever is not of faith, it is sin. So they were struggling with whether to eat these meats or not in this particular context. But he's saying whichever decision you make is not a right or wrong here, except if you do it against doing it in faith.
There you go.
So if we celebrate Halloween, you need to make sure you do it with a good conscience in faith, knowing that it's not a religious holiday. It's not mandated by God. It's not worshiping Satan. And you're just simply doing it for the joy of the season.
Amen.